What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. Guys, I was in one of my favorite groups, which is Say No to Single Mothers Black Men's Edition. And like I said, this group actually is one of my favorites because I get a lot of content from here. It's an excellent group. It's not that big, but it is good, and there are a lot of funny posts. But I believe there are a lot of gems that are shared in this group with regards to how African American men are dealing with either child support or dealing with dating or dealing with a lot of things that typically you wouldn't find in the mainstream medium, right? So this is definitely catering to our needs. And so there was a post that was actually shared, and we'll blur out the person's name in their photo. And there is a group called Black Fathers, and I guess there was a question that was asked, right? And so you have a brother who will blur out his name also. And he says, and we'll try to, X out his face. He says, in response to the question, I've been there. I signed on as father of my wife's daughter during our divorce. I had been raising her for years and was the only dad she knows. The court offered to let me take a paternity test because the child was born before we were married. I waived the test and volunteered to pay support. Once you decide to be the father, just be the father. Blood is not the only thing that creates a bond, all right? So then you have a brother that will blur his face out, and he responds to the guy and says, bro, if you had developed that bond, what was the reason to volunteer to pay child support versus doing it on your own? That's a very good point, right? And again, I want to reference the video that I did, regarding this principal, right? The South Carolina principal works at Walmart at night just to give his check to single moms. And see, here's the situation. When you hear about black men, okay? When you hear about black men in the community, you hear about, black men are, doing this, they're not doing enough. And very seldom do you hear stories like this where, you have a brother that is stepping up to, to be a father, and I'm assuming that the lady is black, to raise the child that is not even his, okay? Which is, if you want to think about it, that's a nice thing to do to financially support that child. But here's the situation, okay? Whether or not he married the lady is neither here nor is it there, all right? And this brother who's done this is actually a very educated man. He's a professor, all right? But the thing about it is this. It's not his responsibility, okay? And that's the issue here. Because she already had a child before she met you, okay? You decided to marry her, fine. But the responsibility should have been upon the child's father, all right? That's who the responsibility should have been on. The responsibility is not yours. Now, he is married again, and I want to say this. Being that he's married again, why is it, his new wife and family, right? The money that he's paying child support to someone else's father or someone else's child is taken away from his own biological children, all right? And here's the thing. The biological father of the child is off the hook. She's going to be dating somebody else who will be off the hook. And so now she's getting free money for that child, and the father didn't even pay for it. And let me tell you this. This happens in Black America more than we want to admit. All right? For black men of all ethnicities, and I'm not saying ethnicities, all the brothers that of different economic classes, whether you're lower, middle, upper middle class, whatever, elite. You have a lot of brothers that feel that they need to claim kids and children that are not theirs. And, that's the number one way to poverty, because if you look at our cohort, let's say, of black women on the opposite side, they're not going to claim, like, okay, let's say, for example, once you and her get divorced and she leaves you, she's not going to pay no child support for your kids you had before with somebody else, because she's smart enough to understand, like, look, I'm done with you. You're not going to have no more access to me. That's it. Women are smart enough to know that, but black men always feel that we need to clean up for other people. And I want to tell, you black men something. Isn't your life important? Okay. Don't you deserve to live your life fully? Isn't that what Christ Jesus said? I come that you may have life so you may have it more abundantly. Don't you deserve to have your life more abundantly? Because one thing about black women, you hear them say this, like, I'm living my best life. And I'm sorry, at my age, I'm still, considered, not middle age yet, but I'm, creeping up on 40. I'm not paying for nobody else's kids. And I want to give a shout out to Thaddeus Matthews, the cussing pastors. He said, listen, don't let people's problems become your emergencies. And we have to start to understand what our problems are and not. And a lot of times, and I understand that, with certain sisters out there, and I get it, and they need help, and you have an attachment to the child. Okay, if you want to do something for the child here and there, fine. But what happens if you lose your job, you can't pay child support? Then all of a sudden now, you put yourself in a situation where you can legally go to jail. Like, Jesus died on the cross. If Jesus can't help you, it's my saying here now. I said Jesus died on the cross. For, if you want to think about that, for black men, black women, they died on the cross for sisters. If he can't help you, neither can I. I'm not paying for no child that I'm not taking care of. I'm not paying for no woman that I'm not taking care of. I'm not going to do it. I can use that money to do what I want to do for my family. I can do that for my business. I'm going to live my best life too. And black men got to understand and have more respect for yourself, that you're going to live your best life. You need to take some time out and treat yourself right. You need to go on vacations. Why is it always that you got to work hard for everybody else? Why is it you got to always break your back for everybody else? And a lot of times for people who don't appreciate it. We're going to be honest now. And as young men, we're teaching these black men that all they are worth is workhorses for everybody else. You don't deserve to do nothing with your life. Your life is better spent taking care of other people's mistakes. That's what we're telling young black men right now. And it's not right. It's not right. Black men's lives mean something. And taking care of people's mistakes is not your situation. And I'm not calling the baby a mistake, but the fact that she couldn't keep the father in the life is a mistake. Brothers need to start really, number one, and you know how I feel about marrying women that already have children, okay? Especially, a lot of brothers need to just leave that alone, all right? Because nothing good out of it usually comes out of it for you. That's not your issue. You didn't have any kids, not your issue. You shouldn't sign up to play stepdaddy to some other people's kids, especially after you're not in the relationship anymore. I can still maybe see if he was still with her. This guy is divorced from the lady, yet he's still paying child support. Does that make any sense? No. So guys, this your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. I really appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe with the bell. Check out the first comment at the top. Check out the Black Men of Purple t-shirts. Check out the Patreon guys. And as you know, the buffoonery remains at an all-time high. I'm out.